And welcome to this evening's edition of Markets Today. I'm Uday and Mukri. Even in banking, stocks like Bank of Baroda, Dena Bank and Vijay Bank came off a little bit. So mixed kind of trend today, but on a first look it would appear like profit taking. Let's go and ask our experts if it indeed is, or is there more to this after the recent rally. Devesh Kumar, Managing Director of Centrum Capital, and Gautam Shah of JM Financial joins me this evening. Gentlemen, thanks for joining in. Devesh, what's your sense? Is there more upside to the Nifty from here? Did what we saw today was just profit taking or more?
If you are talking of near term, I think a few hundred points more cannot be ruled out. But at the same time, the change in sentiment, that is not very firm. And I think in view of higher interest rate situation in the domestic market and the stress on various corporates, we will have a mix of good and bad news coming in. Therefore, I feel that in near term, probably a few hundred points more can be there. And as I have been saying earlier, that at Sensex level, I think crossing 16,000 will be a big challenge, and if we look at next 6 months, then probably crossing 18,000 will be a big challenge. So I think market will remain range bound. A lot of opportunity to trade will be there, and what we recommend is take a 2-year view, because in 2 years a lot of good news flow is awaiting us.
Gautam, what's your sense? Have your targets been achieved on the Nifty, or do you think this is just a pullback and it can be bought into?
Well, yes, I think we had set targets of about 4,600 on the Nifty and about 15,300 on the Sensex. So I'm absolutely not surprised that the markets have given away most of its gains in today's trading session. And also, if you look at it from a global perspective, I think in the last few trading sessions, and in particular last Friday, our markets had a phenomenal run-up, while most other emerging markets and the Dow itself did not have a great time. So I think today it was basically catch-up for most of the emerging markets, while we have corrected, and we've corrected from really important resistance levels in the form of 15,300, which I just mentioned, which is an important resistance based on a host of technical studies. But you know, the bigger picture looks good. I think this is just a pullback after the excellent move from 13,700. You could see another pullback of about 300, 500 points, and according to us, 14,500 and about 43.50 now turns into a trading base for the market. So if anybody wants to really get into the market once again, wait out for maybe 14,500, because I think this is a market which is definitely headed higher short and medium term.
How much higher do you think?
Well, you know, if you have to look at it from a medium-term perspective, I would not rule out, returns in excess of 20-25%, and we are talking of a 4 to 6 month kind of a call. And the reason for that is also the technical setup of the US markets, which I mentioned last time, is very, very encouraging. And if the Dow were to get back to, lifetime highs once again over the next 6 months, which we think should happen, I think our markets can easily move to levels of 18,000 and higher, in the band of 18 to 19,000. From a short-term perspective, I think 16,000, obviously, which a lot of market participants are talking of, remains a barrier. So from a trading perspective, 16,000 and 4,800 are the levels to really book profits.
Devesh, so far it's been a perfect inverse correlation with crude. Do you see it moving even forward like that? If crude cools off more, our market rallies more, and conversely, or do you think the correlation or the inverse correlation will snap a bit?
No, I think with crude, this inverse correlation is going to continue, and as we said earlier, for crude our target is it will in 6 months come down to $100 level or below that. And but at the same time, I think what is going to happen is internally some reformist measures and some positive news flow that will help the market. But corporate performance, there we will find that the impact of tough economic environment that will be there for 2 more quarters, and that's where we will find that the market will remain a bit volatile in next 2 quarters. But after that, what is going to happen is impact of low crude prices, softening of metal prices, and in metal we feel that ferrous metals, they are still holding on, but in 2 to 4 weeks we will see ferrous metals also weakening. and all that will have a positive influence on inflation rate. And I think interest rate cycle, it will again start turning from within 3 to 6 months from now. All this will create a positive environment during calendar year 2009, and by March 2010 we'll find that corporate earnings also will get impacted from all this. What we are going to see in addition is margin expansion for corporates in FY 2010. So 2009 is a year where we are going to see adverse impact of interest rates, weakening demand situation on revenues and top line. And FY 2010 is one year where we are going to see margin expansion, revenue also growing because interest rates are going to drop, and that year is going to be one where again market will scale a new highs.
Gautam, what is the likelihood of this market reversing from around these levels and going back and retesting the lows of 3800 Nifty anytime in the next 3 months?
Well, it looks difficult, and again, I think that the reason for that is while this market has moved up from 12.5 to 15.5, it's actually created a lot of support levels on the downside. So while 14.5 is a support, 14 is a support, 13.3 is a support. So I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the market to really take out most support levels. And I mentioned this last time that 12,500 technically was a long-term support for the market. So the fact that we have reversed from a long-term support with pessimism all around and just about everybody talking about 4 figures on the Sensex, I think that's great news. And I keep saying this, but the US market technical setup looks very, very encouraging, and that is something which gives me an indication that this market might not go back and retest its recent lows. And also talking about crude, I think that is again a commodity that has stabilized, and that's really good news for India. And our view is that the crude should move within the 110 to 140 band, and if that is the case, then there is no real negative factor for the markets to really go down too much from here.
Talk more about that. Gautam, you were talking about crude. In the near term, where are the supports, and how high would you rate the chances of crude bouncing back from these kind of levels?
Well, I think 110 is a very, very important support level for the crude. 117 is a minor support level if you have to really look at it for the next 3 to 4 trading sessions. But I think 110 is a real big one, because that really was the previous top for crude, and around those levels, I think you could have buyers making a comeback. And let's not forget, a commodity that has seen such a big run up, I mean, if it has to retrace 20-25% of its move, I think it's quite understandable, and I would say from a bigger picture perspective, it's healthy. So I really do not see crude go down below 110, and that really looks like the bottom for the time being.
What about the rate sensitives then, Devesh? We've seen this rally being led by banks, even autos have started chipping in, real estate has done well. Would you buy them, or do you think most of the juice is out of their pullback?
I think at this juncture, buying interest rate sensitive sectors will be a bit premature, because the bad news as far as impact of this high interest rate on their demand side or on their quality of asset side is concerned is not yet fully out, and therefore in interest rate sensitive sectors one has to exercise some caution. So I would like to go for banks are definitely oversold, but forgetting about technical situation, I think one can get better times to buy these assets. Realty, again, the demand side and the bottoming of prices, that has not fully played out, and therefore some more negative news may come out, and therefore I think one can buy today also for 2-year perspective, but one can get a better opportunity even going forward.
Okay. Gautam, the star of the day today was sugar though. How are those charts looking if you had a look at Triveni, Balrampur, etc.?